Hello, my name is Nadine Lowe and I'm with Stitching Hearts Worldwide. Today we're going to do a tutorial on Loveys. Loveys are a comfort item that we give to children who have experienced some sort of trauma, and they just are something that give them comfort. They're very portable, easy for them to take with them wherever they go, and we found they've been very popular. So to start with, we're going to look at your kit, and in it, it's going to have a face. And most of the kits already have the face iron on with the 1/4 inch turned under. And that face is going to go on the side that is the front of the animal. The back of the animal, you'll know that it's the back because the ears will be cut out of the same material that is going to be considered the back of the animal. So if you look at the bear, it's got the fuzzy on the back side. Bunny, it's got the white that matches the back of the animal. So first step, take this little square and put it on the corner of the front. So we're going to make a stitching on the corner, right along the edge where it's been folded over. We're going to stop at the corner and pivot. So now your face is on, just like that, stitching along here. Then we're going to take the ears, and there's a lining for the ears. So pin the lining on, and we're going to stitch all the way around it, leaving the opening. And the ears are different shapes. The bunny ears are different than the bears and the mouse ears. And there's specific instructions for each of the ears, so refer to the instruction sheet on the notes for each of the different ears. So sew both of them all the way around like this, and then we're going to turn them inside out, and then take them to the ironing board and iron them. When we turn these inside out, it's really great to use some sort of poking tool. I like to use a chopstick, because it's nice and blunt. It's got a really pointy end and a not so pointy end. You can use it to gently coax out the ear to the shape that it's supposed to be. And then we'll take it to the ironing board and make it just a little bit flatter. So now we have our ears turned and pressed. We're going to put them on the face. Now, the different animals have a specific place to put them on. If you look at the animal, you can think that a dog his face isn't quite as long. These ones are meant to be more centered. The bear and the bunny and the cat are a little bit higher up. Ones like the pig and the mouse and the frog are more centered or down towards the middle of the face, and that just makes the face look a little longer or a little wider depending on the animal. So these ones are going to be about centered on the face for the dog. So we're going to just pin those right in between the two corners, and we'll just baste those on. Okay, so now we have them basted on the face. You can take the pins out. You can see that's the little face of your dog. So now the next step is, and I usually like to keep the ears down and pinned out of the way to put the back on. So now we're going to put the back to the front, and I'll stick pins all the way around to hold it in place. And I want to leave an opening so we can turn this inside out. So that will be our next step, is to pin all around. And okay, so I have it pinned together, the front and the back, all the way around. And I like to leave my opening on one of the opposite sides of where I have the face and the ears pinned onto. And I leave about a hand's width opening. So we're just going to sew 1/4 inch all the way around, touching the front and back. Pivoting at the corners. So now that we have it stitched all the way around, we're going to clip the corners and turn it. Clipping the corners just helps eliminate the bulk, especially up at where the head is, because it's got a couple more layers there with the ears and the face. So we'll clip those corners and we'll reach inside and turn it the right way out. These are a really simple thing to make, but they've been giving so much comfort. Again, I use the little chopstick to poke the corners out. And the different fabrics are going to work a little differently. These ones are fleece. Some of them are going to be minky. This bear is actually a fun fur. You'll have to look at the fabrics, and it's best if there's two different types of fabrics, like this mouse kit that I have. One side is a minky, and one side is a crushed stretch velvet. When you sew them together, this step that I've just done, it's always best to have the less stretchy part on the top and the stretchier underneath where the feed dogs are. That just gives you a little bit more stability when you're sewing it together, and it makes it match up a little better. You may end up having to do a little bit of trimming when you get to turning, but you can see the little faces coming out. Poke his little head out like that in each of the corners, and then I'm going to take it to the ironing board. Just give it a little bit of a press to help make it lie flat before we do our last step, which is stitching all the way around to close the opening here and to keep it from rolling in on itself. Pressed it all the way around just to make it easier to sew. Just wanted to mention, when you go to the iron and you're doing this step pressing, make sure you don't iron the face. Unless you have something covering it, like a piece of parchment, you don't want to iron on it, it'll melt it. So if you need to iron, you can iron from the wrong side. Don't iron directly on the face, but the rest of it you can just iron. I usually like to, when I start stitching this, start on where the opening is, and just to hold things together, you can use a couple of pins so that when you're sewing that, it will line up nicely. And I usually stitch just about an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And again, that closes the opening and keeps it from rolling on the outside. And there you have it. That's your cute little dog with the little floppy ears. We have 9 different designs, so you can find your favorite or try one of each. And this will make a child very happy to have something to love.